Hello, this is teddygaming and welcome back to another very special video, because in this one we're going to be interviewing Ariel Medel. I'm pretty sure I said the name wrong, so I'm sorry, but this artist has done work on the TMNT, the Armageddon game, the Alliance issue number 1 for a variant cover for Cry, and he also done the crossover miniseries with TMNT and Street Fighter crossover, which is really good. So yeah.
Well, my name is Ariel Medel. I'm a comic book artist from Mexico, and I've been working in the comic book industry, mainly in the American comic book industry for around a little bit over 10 years now. I started working with Dynamite Entertainment, doing John Carter, Warlord of Mars. I did also Sheena for them and Agent 47. Before that, I did a little bit of work with Cenescope. And then I continued doing independent work in the independent comics. And more recently, I did Evil Learning for Dynamite Entertainment. And the most recent project I've done is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter.
And why did you want to become an artist?
Well, I don't know. I mean, since I was little, I felt like I was drawn to art in many forms, to art in movies, in cartoons, in comic books, and when I was a child, I was very drawn to Disney cartoons, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and all that, and also other types of cartoons. And I actually wanted to work in animation, but I kind of found out that in animation there are too many people working in a product, and I said I think I would rather do comic books because I mean you're more involved with a smaller group of people in one product. You have like more control over the product, and I wanted to do stories. I also liked cinema a lot, and but in general I liked to draw. I actually was I still am a commercial illustrator, but I worked for newspapers, magazines, advertising agencies. So in general, I just like art. But for some reason, I think because of the story part that is involved in comic books, I felt more drawn to try and do that professionally.
And how did you find out about the job for the TMNT Street Fighter comic?
Well, I mean, I had been in contact with who was then um, the editor in chief, I think, for IDW, Tom Waltz, and I had been sending my work for some time, and he had expressed interest in my work, but there hadn't ever been any project that he could offer me. And around I think almost a year and a half, he emailed me and he said that he wanted me to work in a few projects, and he talked about a few things that didn't materialize at all. But one of the projects that he mentioned was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter, and I did a cover for them for an event called Armageddon game. There were several tie-ins to that event. One of them was focused on one of the one of the villains or of the comic, and I did one cover for them, and then I didn't do anything else. I actually thought that was it, and And suddenly I got an email from another one of the editors, and they said we are ready to go. And from there, I mean, they sent the script, and I just started doing that. But it came from the contact that I had with Tom Waltz.
So, so with the with crossover, was you a fan of both franchises beforehand?
Yeah, actually, I mean that one of the first projects that I did 10 years ago in 2012, it was 11 years ago, was actually John Carter. I also did Sheena or Sina. I don't really know how many people pronounce it differently, but Xenia Warrior Princess from the TV show. So that's another franchise. I also did a mini series for Dynamite, which was called Agent 47, which comes from the video game of Hitman. So yes, I've been involved in with several franchises, but I mean the turtles and the fighters are the two biggest icons of, regarding franchises that I worked in.
So, and with the crossover, you had to draw quite a few characters. Did you have like a favorite character to draw?
Um, you mean from the ones that I've done professionally,
Uh,
or just in general?
um, let's do professionally.
Professionally, okay. Professionally, I would say that yeah, I like drawing. For example, from the turtles, I love drawing Raphael. Even though I think Leo is my favorite, but I enjoy drawing Raphael more. And from the fighters, I would say Ryu. Ryu is my favorite one to draw. And in general, I would say probably Superman or something like that. Something from the Justice League.
And and with the crossover, because you did have draw quite a few characters, and was any like characters was quite hard to draw?
Um, Probably, I wouldn't say hard to draw. Probably Guile, but I would say that what was a little bit hard to do is to draw all of the characters in a cohesive way, because I couldn't go like completely Ninja Turtle style, and I couldn't go completely Street Fighter style because they wouldn't match, in a cohesive manner, in a shared universe that was the story in the comic. So I had to, like, okay, I gotta do this a little bit like that, and mix it up a little bit so that when you put them together, it is logical and it's credible that these characters can fight against each other, and have an adventure um, between them.
So, and with the comic, you did the artwork. Did you have any like input or like any other areas of the comic, like with the colors or the actual story?
No, I just took care of the art, and the only thing is that there were a few parts in which I did adapt a little bit the story, but I mean Paul did a very good job in even with the fights. He knew what he wanted, and he knew about the moves that the characters had, their signature moves, and all of that. So I didn't have to change a lot, which is something that in some cases I do when the probably I see room for improvement, or maybe the writer is not really describing a scene I mean, I go in and try to, to change it a little bit to make it better or something like that. But in this case, I think Paul had a very clear vision, and I only adjusted a few things in order to make the art work better, and the storytelling and all of that.
So, and with the comic, you did interior pages and also the covers. Did you prefer to like the covers or the actual interior pages?
I prefer doing interior. I mean, I love doing covers, and in this case, I was really happy that I was doing both, because in other projects, I only did interiors mostly. That's what I do the most, interior art. But I mean, I love doing covers, and it was actually very special for me to be able to do the interior of the books, but also that I was able to do the covers. So I prefer doing interiors, but if I can do both, that's much better for me.
And so with the covers, you did do all 5 issues. And did you and did you have like a favorite like cover you did?
Yes, I would say the my favorite cover would be the one from issue 5, because you have everybody, and it was quite a challenge because you have everybody there, and it was a bit difficult, but it was a lot of fun also. And um, right after that one, I would say my second favorite cover of the series that I did was the one from issue 2, where you see Ryu and Liu, which are about to fight. I would say those two covers were my favorite, but number 5 takes a cake easily for me.
So and throughout the story, and there was quite a few characters that I put in there from like other like from like both franchises. And was there any like sort of like characters you wasn't allowed to include?
I wouldn't say that there were characters that we were not allowed to use, but it was a bit difficult because of the timetable. If we had tried to use more characters, we would have to ask for permission. Then somebody would have to go and ask somebody else and wait for their answer and then come back to us. So I think that was a little bit of a problem, because there were a few scenes in which there was room to put a few more cameos. But the problem was that we were not, we couldn't just put them, we had to request permission, and that would have to go to their offices, and then to I don't know how many people would have to be involved. And because we were on the clock with the timetable, we did not do that,
Mm.
So there are two extra characters. One is called Rufus. I don't remember the name of the other one. From both franchises that appear as cameos, but we were not able to put other characters. I mean, I would have liked to use Kami for sure, and probably Blanca or something like that. And from the Turtles, I would say I would have liked April to appear. But also, I think that, and this is conjecture on my part, but I think that probably they are saving other characters for a possible sequel, if there is a sequel. I don't know if there's gonna be a sequel, but I think that if you use everyone in the first series, then you have nothing new for the second series or the sequel. So I think maybe that's my conjecture. That was one of the reasons we didn't see more characters involved.
Okay. So throughout the series, there was quite a few like fights, like both franchises. Did you like a favorite fight to draw?
Mm, yeah, I would say my favorite fight to draw, and I'm saying it because I think everybody knows by now, is the one from for between Bison and Shredder. Yeah,
Um,
that's my favorite.
um, well, and because you done this series, and do you have any like plans to do like any more Timothy comics in the future?
Um, right now, I'm not involved in any other projects, but the doors the doors are open. Probably it may happen, it may not happen, because they plan like the whole year of events and comics and all of that. And in this case, I was only involved in that project, but I've talked with the editors, and they say that there might be more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles work coming my way in the future, but it's not something that is sure. So it's in the air right now. So maybe next year, we don't know. I
Okay.
don't know right now. I surely hope so, because it was a lot of fun. I love drawing those characters, and I would love drawing them again, of course.
With the crossover, there was a lot of like fan service service moments with like Raph like in the Psycho Power. And do you have like favorite scene from and do you have like favorite scene from the actual like a crossover?
If I have a favorite scene, I would say, yeah, I would say my favorite scene would be precisely when Raph gets the psycho power and he goes to the roof and kicks ass. That would be my favorite scene. And I would have liked to have more uh, pages. Unfortunately, the monthly comic book format is very limited in that sense, that you only have so much space to do things, and you have to put all the information that's needed to finish the series in a limited amount of space. Uh, but of course, I would have loved to have like 3 pages more of that fight, between the bad guys and Wrath.
So in the crossover, was there anything you wish you'd done differently?
Um, if I wish there had been anything different with the crossover, probably, I mean, we would have had to do it in the like 8 issues or something in order to put everything that I wanted to include. Uh, because I wanted April to be there. Um, I would say I would have liked more of the fights, like to be able to have more time to draw to no to show the fights in a more complete manner, because I think they were very quick. But if the fights were longer, then we wouldn't have story, So that's the problem. Uh, but yeah, I would have liked to have more time to develop the story, but also to develop the fights. So that would have been in like 8 or 10 issues if we had done that.
Who's your favorite turtle?
My favorite turtle is, I think, is Leo, but I really enjoyed drawing Raphael. So uh, before I was pretty sure it was Leo, but now I'm like, well, I also like Raph a lot. So, but if I had to choose, I would say Leo, because he's the leader. He's more like focused and all of that. So I like those qualities.
Is there anything you'd like to promote?
Uh, uh, yeah, well, I mean, uh, I think not right now, because Well, I'm doing a comic book which is called Lark's Killer from First Comics, and it's written by Bill Willingham, the writer of Fables. The only problem is that that comic is comic. I mean, it's gonna be more like I think like graphic novel format. So it's coming out like many months from now. So if I would like to say to people that be alert for that. It will be announced eventually. I don't know when they will announce it, but I'm working on the art, and I'm also doing another project for Sumerian comics. The problem is that I cannot say what it is yet, but it involves a very famous movie director, and beyond that, I cannot say anything. So, um, if people follow me on Facebook or Twitter, I'm gonna announce that as soon as I can, which I'm pretty excited to tell everyone, but I just can't yet.
Wow, yeah, I'd like to just say again, thank you so much for doing this. This is about really meant a lot, and yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, uh, no, thank you for inviting me. I'm always very grateful for anyone who helps me put my work out there and talk about my work. So, really, thank you for the invitation, and thanks to everyone who's watching this and giving some time to to hear about what I'm doing, what I've done, and all of that.